Here are the stories for this video. As always, don't forget to share and like if you enjoy these videos. Without further ado, here we go. Turning off the Wi-Fi when husbands camps in toilet, avoiding household duties. My husband and I are the parents of twins who are less than a year old. Anytime my husband should be doing something with the children, it is his turn for a diaper, a bottle, even just soothing a fuzzy newborn, he always goes to the bathroom first. We are both on paternity leave currently. My husband is on medication that makes him spend a lot of time in the bathroom, about an hour after a meal. It's a medication he has been on and off several times over the past year. He's never on it for more than a few weeks, and it does not affect him all the time, but he always claims that is why he is in the bathroom. I did ask, the doctor didn't say it was impossible, but highly unlikely. Doc wanted him to come in for a checkup if this was the case, and husband said, "Oh, it's not that bad," and refuses to go in. I would rather let him use the restroom first than have to put down a baby mid-task, but over the past couple of months, he has been spending more and more time in there. He always takes his phone, he is always watching YouTube. His average session is 25 minutes in there, often longer, rarely shorter. It's the most frustrating when it comes time to feed them. One of the twins needs to be helped specifically for health reasons, so I cannot double feed. Because we will get up, I will warm up bottles, change one baby bum, get to the first one fed, burped, and lay down in their crib, get the other baby changed, and be settling down to feed baby number 2 before he can be bothered to emerge and figure out why one child has been screaming because they had to watch their sibling eat, I and then the other, then cry when they don't get to cuddle at all because I have to immediately set them down to feed the hysterically sobbing child. Yesterday was a week and a half since I started truly keeping track, and he, only twice in 10 days, not ditched me to go camp out in the bathroom and let me finish 80% of the childcare. Today I started a new rule. If he is in the bathroom for more than 10 minutes, I flip the Wi-Fi off. He has not spent more than 50 minutes in the bathroom at a stretch today, but is extremely upset. I feel like the fact that without the Wi-Fi, his uncontrollable toilet issue cleared up rather quickly proves why it needs to be done. But he feels I am being unreasonable, and I need to make sure sleep deprivation isn't making me an asshole. Not the asshole. What kind of a man fucks around on the internet while his baby screams and cries? He deserves it. We get it, caring for 2 children is hard, that's why it's not fair for him to be bailing on you. I have no kids, but an ex used to do this. He would go to the bathroom multiple times throughout the day to poop and be in there for 20-30 plus minutes. How I figured it out was I was in the mood and changed into lingerie before he got out. He came out and said, "Oh, I just took care of myself in there." Like, what the fuck? Yep, my ex did the same thing. The longest was 3 hours. 3 freaking hours! And he had no medical issue, just acute selfishness. A woman at my postnatal depression group recommended I do this. And funnily enough, the moment I would flip the switch on the Wi-Fi, I would hear the toilet flush and he would come downstairs. Thinking about posting a video of my neighbor throwing things in my garden. My mom and I bought a duplex for me to manage and live in during my years in college. Bought the house in 2018, I moved in the summer of 2019. We installed a Ring video security system along with a front yard doorbell and backyard video floodlights. When I moved in, there was a ton of branches and limbs by my neighbor's fence. That was odd since we only had one medium-sized tree nearly 10 feet from the fence. Later that summer, the backyard Ring camera caught the neighbor throwing branches over. We realized that is where the huge pile came from. Halloween came around and my roommate and I decided to throw a party on Friday, November 1st. We tried to talk to Miss Stick Thrower, but they were not home during our 3 attempts. We left a note explaining it, along with our names and numbers. The party was 30 people plus, coming and going, along with music and beer pong table in the backyard. Cops were rightfully called at 11:45 p.m. We shut it down. The 4th, I was in class and got a front doorbell notification. It was Miss Stick Thrower pulling up my decorative styrofoam tombstones and throwing them behind my bushes. When I got home, I saw that one was broken. My roommate and I decided to call the non-emergency line about this because obviously she had no respect for us. And this is the South, so anyone could have gone. A cop came out, we showed her everything, and we went to talk to the neighbor. Her fiance opened the door and claimed she was not home despite her car being there. Anyway, time went on and I noticed that she came into our backyard via a gate, which was deep in my backyard. This freaked me out, as videos showed her smoking and wandering around my backyard. I put a carabiner on the gate to keep her out. End of November, I come home and see these huge limbs flying over the fence. I get out, confront her, we argue, and she claims that she owns 2 feet of my backyard. She ends the conversation with, "Do you want to make these next 4 years a living hell?" I called the non-emergency number and once again she hid from the cops. I found out that she is a professor at my university. I emailed the dean of students, told him everything and provided proof. Their resources were useless and I am beyond fed up. Cops say they can't do anything despite video evidence and 4 no trespassing signs. I want her to stop. We got a survey done and she does not own 2 feet into my backyard. I've edited together a video montage of her throwing limbs, branches, sticks, rocks, and cigarettes together along with her trespassing in my backyard. Would I be an asshole if I posted this online with the caption, "University Professor's Action"? You should contact the city attorney via email explaining the issue and numerous complaints. Send it to the local news station, paper, and university paper about local professor bullying students. Post to Nextdoor if they don't pick it up. Include that you've asked police and city attorneys for assistance and they haven't done anything. Next, have your parents call the university about how this professor is harassing the tenants, aka son and roommates. The city attorney might listen from the landowner about damage to property. Find out if she rents or owns the property. If she rents, have your parents call and complain about the damage and that they will hold them liable. Also, reach out to your city council members, landowners, that they are concerned about the damage to property, threat to tenants, and her vandalism. Is this really something who should be shaping young minds? But really, her behavior is odd. I'm not sure if she resents that students are living next to her or that your parents bought the house for you. Who knows, that might have been the one she wanted and is furious college students get to live in it, but that doesn't matter. Her behavior is outside the norm. Can my daughter say daddy to my husband? My ex-husband left me when I was 2 months pregnant. When my daughter turned 4 months old, he married his current wife. I met my husband when my daughter was 2 years old and married him when she turned 3. My daughter is now 7 years old and I have a 3-year-old son with my husband. My ex has 2 daughters with his wife who are 6 and 4. My ex has an every other weekend visitation with our daughter. Now, my daughter used to call my husband Poppy, but ever since the birth of my son, my daughter has started calling my husband Daddy. That's what I call my husband when I address him in front of my son, and my daughter has kind of picked up on that. We never told her no, because my husband lost my daughter and thinks of her as his own. He has stayed up nights taking care of her the times she has been sick. Now, she doesn't have the same relationship with her stepmother. She has always called her stepmother by her actual first name, and it has always been that way, even though her stepmother has known her for a longer time than my husband. Here's why I'm wondering if I'm the asshole. The other night when me and my husband went to pick up my daughter from her dad, my daughter ran out of the door happily saying, "Mommy and Daddy are here, I'm going home." When my ex heard her address my husband as Daddy, he turned visibly upset. Later, when we got home, my ex blew up on my phone saying that I was emotionally abusing my daughter by making her call another man daddy and that I needed to make her stop. I said our daughter has all the right to call my husband daddy if it makes her happy. He then asked me how I would feel if he made our daughter call his wife mommy. I told him that if my daughter hasn't called her mommy after 6 years of knowing her, it is because she never wanted to. I said that it isn't my fault, our daughter feels close to her stepfather and actually loves our family together. After saying that, I hung up. The next day, my ex-mother-in-law called me accusing me of parental alienation. This is honestly messing with my mind. My husband loves my daughter. Is it really bad if we let her call him daddy? he loves it, and in fact, he always says that he has 2 kids. Based on your description, not the asshole. If he wanted to not have competition for the term daddy, then he shouldn't have gone out looking for competition for the term wife while he was still married to you. This is what I came here to say. He forfeited sole ownership on the title when he walked out 2 months after she was born. Especially when you consider he had found a new woman, dated her, and got married when the girl was at 4 months of age. That's an 11-month time span, give or take a month or 2 depending on when the baby was born. And now he wants sole daddy rights? Yeah, sure. So those were the stories for today's video. Let me know what you think about the stories in the comments below. As usual, please like if you enjoyed these stories and subscribe if you want to stay up to date on more future videos. Thanks for listening, and I will see you in the next video.